Hello, welcome into the starters. I'm Dave, that's George, and of course Simon. How's it going, boys?
Hello, David.
Feeling good, Dave. Feeling good.
Good. All right. We're going to keep this episode a little bit more optimistic. We got some comments last time about we dipped a little bit too much into the negative side of things. So, we're going to start off with maybe some bad news a little bit. We got the news a little bit that broke today that perhaps Kirby Dach's rehab may have taken a setback and his return to the lineup might be delayed and he might not be ready for the season. There's no official reports, of course. These are just reports from around the Montreal Canadiens organization. Nothing yet from the team itself. So I just want to know if Kirby Dach is not there as your 2C. He's not there as your 2C. Who starts the season as 2C? It could be someone internal. It could be someone where they go to get somebody. Who do you think starts as 2C in Kirby Dach's place?
I don't think, unless the injury is going to keep him out for 40 games or a year, which I don't think it's that. Again, there was nothing really concrete, but it was making the rounds that perhaps he's not ready for camp. Being ready for camp doesn't mean you're not ready for the start of the opening season. I can't blow it up. I can't add money to the pile. If there's a deal to be made, a real deal for the names that we've been popping up throughout the entire offseason, the Kadris and the Matthew Barzals or whoever, for a time it was Matt Duchene before he signed. Sure, continue to make that NHL deal. But if not, then just go to Alex Newhook, leave Jake Evans where he is, let him build that continuity or continue to build that continuity. Give yourself a great quote-unquote fourth line or third line and just try to tread water with Alex Newhook, Patrick Laine, and Ivan Demidov as your second line. I don't think, what are you going to do? You're going to go to Laval and ask Owen Beck to take on such a major, major responsibility. I don't think that's fair to him. I don't think that's fair to his development. I didn't think Alex Newhook was terrible at center last year. I think that we all loved the beginning of the season from early in the season to let's say end of December, early January for Jake Evans because he went on a tear. But very quietly, when Alex Newhook went into that role at second line center, clearly, I don't think he's a second line center for a long-term solution, but his numbers were okay. And I don't think you're going to thrive with anybody on this roster at the second line center. At this point, it's not about thriving. It's about surviving. So just give me a nice generic Alex Newhook and a prayer.
All right, Alex Newhook. George?
Well, I think there is only one answer because I don't think there is anybody else. It needs to be Alex Newhook at this point because I don't think anybody else can really step into that role. Asking Jake Evans to come up from the fourth line and suddenly be a second line center, I think is a little bit too much to ask for Jake Evans. That being said, Alex Newhook had the worst season of his career last year, 26 points. He's not an offensive dynamo by any stretch of the imagination. He is consistently a 35-point guy. He was a little bit short on that. He was in and around his career shooting percentage of 12.7%. But I feel he just didn't cash in on a lot. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a lot of games he just didn't cash in on a bunch of chances. And I don't think that's going to continue. The law of averages say at some point those pucks go in. I just think Alex Newhook had a little bit of some bad bounces last year and didn't get, he's never going to be a offensive dynamo finisher, but I can see a world where this guy scores 20 plus goals. I can see it. I don't think it's out of the realm of impossible that in a second line role, playing with a guy like Demidov, that he can put in 25 goals. I don't think that's impossible. I like his game. Damn, he has no finish. I don't know why.
I'm just checking to see the goals. You remember what the goals were last year?
I know he had 26 points. I don't know how many goals he had. I know he went 22 games without a goal in the second part of the season. So, look,
15.
Yeah, 15. But I mean, is 25 that crazy that he doesn't get 25 goals? I think it's possible.
You know what? I think if you can get that anywhere between 18 and 21, where I think you're good. I think that's what I'm looking for Alex Newhook to kind of take on some of those penalty killing responsibilities. If you can do that, that's great. But 15 is not a terrible.
Ooh, it's a terrible number for a second line center.
26 points is brutal for a second line center. It's brutal. But here's the thing, though. I do believe in a world because he didn't play with top-end talent either on that second line. It's not like the Canadians, gave him extra Caulfield out there or Slavkovsky time. Yeah. They gave him the guys that, Josh Anderson at times played on that line sometimes. They tried to find guys that could skate with him. I think Demidov will make him a little bit better. I know he's a rookie and there's a lot of expectations, but I can see a world where he gets 45 points, 20 goals, 25 assists. This is possible. This is in Alex Newhook's wheelhouse.
Yeah, I just think it's more about like giving Demidov something to work with, and I think it must be frustrating to come to the NHL, and again, you're going to have to play 40 games or how many games with Alex Newhook as your center.
But I mean, is it any better with Kirby Dach though? We don't know.
We don't know, but at least there's a bit of. It's supposed to be, I
think the one thing you can take from this, and the one thing maybe Demidov can take from this, is that he may enjoy Alex Newhook's foot speed.
Yes, so I agree with that. I agree with
enjoy the pace driven by his center. Alex Newhook, sometimes I find, so I think we've all played with friends, beer league, ball hockey, whatever, the body is just moving too fast, and sometimes the hands can't catch up to the foot speed. And I think Alex Newhook has incredible foot speed. And like George, I think if you get that under control a little bit, you ring one off the post and in rather than ring one off the post and out, I think you can get to that 20 goal total. And I think at that point, when you equate the money that he makes and maybe some more penalty killing responsibilities, I think that's a pretty good year. But Demidov and Newhook, maybe the foot speed is something that they can.
I just think you can't go 22 games without a goal. This can't happen if you're Alex Newhook. So if that happens, then they got a problem.
I think you should look at the line as a collective. If Demidov and Laine are scoring goals and you're not getting it from him, you can live with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say Laine is gone. So Laine.
I knew that was coming from George.
By week 2, Laine isn't on that second line. We're going to see Bolduc on that second line. So.
Oh boy. Okay. We did see like Demidov and Newhook hook up for Demidov's first assist was with Newhook. Yeah. He definitely put it in the net. So you can see it's possible. It's just, to me, I would like to see someone a little bit better play with Demidov, but hey. You have to make do with what you got, and if you're not going to
roster right now, Dave.
I know. If you're not going to swing a move for McTavish or something like that, then I guess you are. It is what it is, and you're stuck with who you got. All right. Speaking of the roster, my next question is going to be just about who do you see that wasn't a regular last year, that was maybe just knocking on the door. Got a little. Who do you think has the most chance to become a regular this season? That's going to be on the club.
So I was kind of thinking about that in my head today. I was like, is Kapanen the guy? He's been consistent, and he's a guy that they sent off to play with men. So he played with men. He was pretty good. Owen Beck's another guy. I'm like, Owen Beck could be the guy. I get the feeling though, Joshua Roy is playing for his career here. Okay. Joshua Roy has to make this team, because going back to Laval and not making this team pretty much means he's not in the Canadiens' plans anymore, unless there's injuries. So I'm going to say Joshua Roy with an asterisk, because he's kind of the dark horse in all this, if you kind of look at the other guys in Owen Beck and Kapanen. But I think Joshua Roy's got an offensive side to him that he has shown in Laval and has not shown yet at the NHL that could interest a team starving for goals. So with the outside track, I'm going to take the dark horse, and I'm going to say Joshua Roy on this one.
Good. It's a good answer. Simon?
Dave, what was your first question again?
First question of today, or the first question of
today?
Today was who 2C. Who's going to be a 2C?
Okay. And Kirby, and part of the first question was who's going to be 2C because Kirby Dach is out.
Right.
Might be out for a while. Then I think the answer has got to be Owen Beck. If we're going to go off the first question and we're going to go off, there's a void at center, and Jacky gets a little bit of noise. Davidson's getting a little bit of love. Joshua Roy, like George said, maybe his last opportunity to nail at least a full-time position on an AHL team with this squad. I think those are all in play, but I just can't see there's going to be if Kirby Dach is not ready on opening night, Suzuki, Evans, and we brought up Newhook. Kapanen could play little center. I don't know. I haven't seen it really at the pro level. So at that point, I think the one dogfight is going to be who could take on that third line center responsibility, or you move up Evans in the lineup, fourth line center responsibility. It's got to be a center because if you can't start the season with Kirby Dach on the sidelines and Joshua Roy in the lineup, because you'll have to tell me who's going through center. Who's that? Is it going to be Kapanen? Is it going to be somebody else? I don't know. So I think because of the void at center, Owen Beck has a nice opportunity here to perhaps take on some of those responsibilities. The part I like about his game, I watched him play a lot in Laval, and now there'll be more responsibilities. But him too. Armia gone, Dvorak gone, Alex Newhook, Owen Beck, Jake Evans, Josh Anderson. There's some nice, playing time that can come to you on the penalty kill. So I think he can do that.
So one thing that I didn't mention is the reason I said Joshua Roy is because I feel the Canadians will acquire a veteran center. Maybe not to be a 2C, but they will get some veteran center, either to play. If Kirby Dach is out an extended amount of time, there will be an acquisition of a center.
Well, the moment there's an acquisition at center, George, between now and let's say mid to late September.
There has to be.
Because they know that Kirby Dach's not ready to go until mid-October, late October.
Don't forget, they also have
That's right.
They got Joe Veleno, right? Like Joe Veleno has to fit in this roster also somewhere. So
forgot about that. I think that's a good name too. He'll be in a fight there. Look, it's congested in the bottom six, right? Because let's just say you put Newhook in on that line, right, on that second line, and then it's Anderson, Gallagher, Evans, Kapanen, Veleno, Roy, Jacky, Davidson. Maybe veteran player comes in for a tryout. Maybe a small acquisition. It's pretty congested on that bottom six without question.
I just think everybody has a place to go. Joshua Roy, tough, man. Mm-hmm. That's tough.
Yeah, a lot of high hopes for Joshua Roy, man. A lot of people thought he was really going to be the answer to the goal-scoring woes for a long time. I mean, a lot of pressure to put on a guy, who had no NHL experience at the time when he was kind of lauded for it. So, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, and if he has to have one heck of a training camp, in my opinion. And
I agree.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Be sure to tune in to The Starters at The Starters 690, pretty much everywhere across social channels. Subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments what you think. Who do you think is going to be 2C, and what a non-regular will become a regular come October 3rd, I think is the start of the season. Let us know. Thanks, Simon. Thanks, George.
Ciao, boys.